I've begun to solder up and connect wires to what we call the LED chips. They're labeled on the chip minus and plus. And for those that you are just into the hobby now, minus will be the black wire or negative, and red will be for the positive. So the red wires will connect to the top, one per circuit, and then the blacks, there are only 8 down here, we'll group them together. They all can be shared, and we'll go through and solder each of the chips together so we have some wires, and we'll begin to assemble them onto the building floors and walls. Now, the other thing that I did pick up is we make a red, green, blue LED chip. So what this is essentially 3 colors of LEDs inside of one package, and there are 4 wires coming out, the common black as in all of the cases, and then a red, green, blue wire indicating red, green, blue. And what we're going to do with this, the controller board can do many things in terms of turning on the lights on and off and at different levels, frequencies. We're going to use that to simulate a television operating on the 2nd floor. And so you'll see that going on in a couple of minutes. I've begun to assemble and insert lights into the main carcass of the building. You'll notice there's a yellow light right at the top here. I don't know if you can see that, but let me move it in. You see that little round yellow? That's not part of the original building. That, in fact, is a white LED that we encased in gallery glass. Here's gallery glass. If you don't have this, this is the greatest concoction for modelers, because what it allows you to do is create crystal clear glass fixtures around very simple LEDs. So what I did to create that yellow bulb there is I put some of this on a pad, all right, and I'm going to just put a drop on the yellow pad here. And then what you do is you just dip the LED repeatedly into the gallery glass to create a bulb around it. So let it dry, put some more in, add some more. And so that really creates a nice feature. Now this one that I'm working on, I'm using crystal clear, and I'm going to try to move that right up to the camera if I can. And you can just barely see a little bulb starting to form on the outside of that. So we're going to use that on some of the outside features so it looks like a light bulb. I've already soldered up 2 yellow hookup wire leads. These are, I'm using 36 gauge stranded wire, and I've just hooked them up to the DCC connection point at the bottom of the board. There we go. And I've drilled a hole in the lower left-hand corner right here, and all I'm going to do is feed these 2 wires through that hole. And we're going to have to make the hole a little bigger and clean it out. Just took a hand drill and just drilled through the bottom, created a little hole for the wires, and even with the drill, using the drill as a file, still some little bits of plastic, and since there's not a lot of space, just clean that out a little bit. And now what we're going to do is take one at a time. We'll take these and punch them through the hole. There's one. And what I found is doing this from about a foot away so that the camera can be in front of me. It's a little bit challenging, but there we go. Pull those wires through. Give it a little twist around to get them sort of straightened out. And there we go, okay? So now I'm ready to take the double stick tape off and fasten that to the building. So that's our set of shelves, and remember I've given a little space here, and when I solder these pads, this board will not get hot enough to do anything to go through either in proximity to melt this plastic, this acetate, or styrene, or anything to go through the sticky pad. So that's what I do there. And probably the hardest part of this task is separating So now we are going to take the double stick tape off, and we're going to get it aligned here with the back of the building, pull the wires through again, and just set that up. I'm going to be left to center because I want to give myself a little bit of space to hook up the common wires on the black side, and there are no more wires on the left side, so I'm going to be a little bit left of center for this. And I'm just going to put it right smack in the middle and pull the rest of the wires through. There we go. And there we go. So those will be the only two wires going into this building to light it. And in your layout, those two wires could just go right through the base of the layout, and you don't have to have 15 wires going down through for each LED. All of that's going to be controlled by one control board. Okay, now that I have the DCC wires connected up, I've put the board onto my my floors, I guess I'll call them. I'm just going to go down and tin and put a little drop of solder on each of the solder pads and just get them tinned up. So when I come back around with my LED wires, I'll just have to melt the solder a little bit and they'll all be tinned up. So we'll just go down. I don't know if you can see this, but there we go. And that's all there is to it. I'll do the ground side now. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think you can see that. And there we go. Okay, we've been making steady progress. I've glued in 2 LEDs on this side. This is the RGB 3-color LED chip. This is a 5000K light here. And this is going to simulate the bedroom and with the TV on. And then I've put 2 2000, this is more yellow, into these 2 bedrooms. And the wires go all the way through the back. And here's what it looks like in the back. Remember we double taped this to the back. And I just brought the wires through and cut them and soldered them to the various pins. Now with the ground, I know I'm going to need more than 8. So the first couple here I bundled into a pack, and then I just have one wire going down here. This wire can handle up to 2 amps, so it's not a problem. And then what I'm going to do is use this red insulating varnish. This stuff is messy, so be careful. And what I'm going to do is take a toothpick and just coat the toothpick with a little bit of this goop and just color it right on to all the sides of that. And this stuff dries hard and is insulating. So that's what it says on the bottle. So we've been pretty successful with this. And just get a little bit more up there and give that, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes to dry. I try not to get it to bubble too much. And there we go. It smells like something. It smells pretty bad, but anyway, that's hold that for you. Red insulating varnish, you can get this online easily. And a toothpick, you can get that also from anywhere. All right, and as soon as that dries, we'll tuck it in and we'll show you what the building looks like so far before we finish it. We have some more chips to go, and so we'll add them in just a minute. Okay, I just soldered up 2 wires that I had from that yellow LED I showed you before, red and black wires. I just ran them back through a hole I have at the top here, because that's going to be at the roof side. And pin 1 is on the left, so I soldered red wire to pin 1, and I ran the black around to the first pad I have here to the common. And so that's all set up. And I'll just put this on its side, and I'm going to hit F0, and you will see the light. And I suggest, for your moral satisfaction, if you will, just hook up one LED to the controller, run it like I did here, and turn it on. And we've got the whole system running from DCC. You've got power to the board. That's what the blue light is for. You've got some simple LED coming here, and we'll get to the rest of the chips later. One of the things I'll do now is I'll put it on the adjust brightness mode. And so I'm going to dial down the brightness of that LED for the outside lamp, because I just want it to accent it. I don't want it to be too bright to overshadow anything. And once I've done that, I'm going to push F2. That's the save command in all of the circumstance where we're working with this controller. And the LED is going to blink, and that means that we successfully saved that setting. We turn off the light, turn it back on, it's going to come back right at that setting. And we have that power or control over all of the LEDs, regardless of what they're doing, whether they're lighting the downstairs, blinking, or whatever they're doing. You can all set each LED, each one of the 16 ports can operate at a different level of brightness. And so there we go. Okay, now that we've got the grounding wire insulated with our varnish, we can put that aside. I tucked it underneath, and I'm going to just connect power to the DCC power supply. Just these two yellows just go into my Digitrack system. The blue light means power's on, everything's going well. I'm going to turn this around, get these wires out of the way, and these wires here are just from the front door light. I can just tuck them in. I left a little bit of room between the top of this roof and the bottom of the building here, and that just will hide those wires away. Look at how easily that just drops in there. And I'm going to just turn all the lights on. Let me push this away. And now you can begin to see. I'm going to move the camera around a little bit and maybe drop it down so you can see. Look at that. All right, now you're ready. I have all the lights on. You can see and I'm going to turn them off. And now I've already set the bedroom lights here, the red, green, blue, and the white, to animate the TV simulation, and then these two lights to come on. So let's just watch that. They're a little bit brighter than normally would be the case, just so it comes out well on the camera, but you can just watch that for a second. And meanwhile, I'm going to turn on the other two lights that I have going there, and the front door light, and I'm controlling these all from my Digitrack's controller. So now you can watch the TV mode. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. You can see the colors moving a little bit of red comes in, green, blue, and so forth. So that's to simulate a color TV in the upstairs bedroom. All right, so let's finish the rest of the lighting. I have the chips, as you can see over here. I just have them sitting there next to them, and I'm going to wire these up and put them inside the first floor, because that's also going to come out very nice. All right, let's be back in a minute.